Okay, so one of the things that's easy to forget as you're thinking about all the maintenance things you're going to do to the car and you want to get it off the ground is the first thing you want to do if you're going to rotate the tires is loosen the lug nuts before you jack it up. That way you're using the weight of the car to loosen those up. So I've got a 1/2 inch ratchet extension. This was a Harbor Freight, very inexpensive, and so what it does is it allows you to change the length of it, and that's good on something like this because it gives me plenty of torque where I don't have to use a breaker bar. I can use something like this to loosen my lug nuts. And also then I've got a 21 millimeter socket made for wheels, and then I have keyed lug nuts on here where one of them on each wheel takes a special key. So I've got that with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen all the lug nuts. When I say loosen, all you're doing is breaking them free. So you don't wanna turn them multiple times or anything like that. Just enough to where you are, you know, breaking them free. All right, so we're gonna jack up our 2019 Pilot. So I've got an impact gun. I don't use it really as an impact gun. I'm using it more as a drill because I've already loosened everything. So I've got my wheel socket on there, my 21 millimeter, and we're just gonna remove this wheel. This is my key. Sometimes these take a minute to get on there, right? This impact gun is worth getting out just to save time. After I get lug nuts started, I use it to snug them. I never use it to tighten them because it'll over tighten. I always use a torque wrench to tighten them at the end. We'll get to that later. So in my tire rotation on this car, the front tires go to the back on the same side, and the back tire crisscrosses and goes to the front on the opposite side. So when I get rocks like this, they look like they're just never gonna come out, I'll just go ahead and carefully pry them out with a screwdriver. Because boy, they really dig in. I don't worry about those little ones, of course. It's a good time when your wheels are off to just visually look at your brake pad. So if you look, these are your brakes on disc brakes, and the part that touches your rotor, this part here, is your brake pad. That is plenty good. And so what I've found on Hondas is that if you drive reasonably, your brakes will last a very long time. These are original, of course. This has 50,000 miles. Those brake pads are great. My Honda CR-V has 97,000 miles on it. Those are original brake pads and they're doing fine. So one of the great things that saves money with Hondas that I've found are the brakes. So anyway, we're gonna put this on. And again, all we're doing is snugging these up. These wheels are heavy, so for me to put these on and not hurt my back, another reason to have extra support under your car with the jack stands and the floor jacks is because my legs are under here. I really got to kind of get in this position. I want to make sure I'm not kicking my jack stands, and just kind of get the wheel where the lug nuts are almost you know, lined up the best I can with the lug pattern. And then you just I just lift it up and push it forward onto the lug nut. Just like that. So I got it on there fairly good. Hold it on there with my legs. And then always start these by hand. Never use any kind of pneumatic or any kind of power equipment. You can cross thread. I also don't recommend using an impact gun or pneumatics to torque them down. Always use a torque wrench. So what we're gonna do is start these by hand, like several turns, 3, 4, 7, 8 turns. And then we will use our impact gun, sometimes it's hard to get those keys on when they're loose. We'll use our impact gun not to tighten them, but to snug them. So just kind of start off by lightly putting them on there. You always kind of go in every other lug nut, start somewhere and then go every other. Now that we've made one pass, we'll kind of go again. Okay, so we want them, you know, really snug because we're going to set the car down all its weight on this wheel. So we definitely don't want any threads showing. We want all of them, you know, we're just not clamping down on our impact gun. So we're snugging them up. And then once it's down, we'll use a torque wrench to torque them to the factory spec. We rotated all the tires, so now what we have left on the tire rotation would be to set the car down, torque down all the lug nuts, and then check the air in all the tires. Okay, so to get the car off of jack stands, we do reverse order of what we did. Alright, so now to complete the tire rotation, since my mind's kind of on that, 94 foot-pounds of torque. So I go ahead and I have my torque wrench and I've got it set, probably can't see, but 94 foot-pounds. Got my 21 millimeter socket on there for my wheels. Got my wheel key on there. So all I do is turn this until it clicks one time and then it's done. So that's it. So then I skip a lug nut. Skip the lug nut. Okay, that one's done. I just move around the car. All the tires get inflated to 32 psi all the way around. I'm just going to show you. If you don't know, don't look at your tire. Look at this sticker on the inside of your car. Every car's got one. So front tire, 32 psi. Rear tire, 32 psi. It also shows you your spare tire is 60 psi, but we're just doing the 32s. So always go by that. If you go by what's on your car tire, you're probably way over inflated. Okay, so now that we've done everything, all that we have left to do that I won't show you on video, we're just gonna check the air in the tires and make sure they're all at 32 psi, and this job is done. So please remember to look in the video description for links and helpful tips. And so I hope this video has been helpful for you.